There we go. There we go. That's on. There we go. Right there. That's on. There we go. Double white maggot on hook. Lovely fish to end on. Another lovely morning for it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I am at the greatest fishery of all time in the UK, Guru Aston Park Fisheries here at Sheffield / Rotherham, and it's only 15 minutes, 20 minutes from my house. 20 minutes this morning because of traffic, and I am on Butts Lake today. So it's a snake lake, goes around in a big horseshoe shape, probably a bit of a weird horse, but I'm going to be on Butts Lake today fishing with one of your all-time favourite rods, which seems to be doing amazing just lately on channel, and I wanted to do some snake lake fishing with it, and I thought, let's get you up to Aston Park Fisheries and show you how we get on with it. This is another fishery feed pellet only episode, and I'm going to show you just how effective a little bag of pellets like this and an amazing little feeder rod can do on a little tiny snake lake like this one here at Aston, fishing just to that bare far bank over there. How easy can it be? So I'm going to get my tackle set up, talk you through the rod and the purpose of why I brought it here today, and why what would normally be predominantly a pole only lake here at Aston and most fisheries in UK, and talk to you about why it's an incredible option if fishing the pole on snake lakes just isn't for you. So let's get set up. So let's talk you through feed and hook bait for today. I'm not going to waffle on because people just want to see this rod bending off with some wobbly carp on it. I'm going to keep it nice and simple. Fishery feed pellets, wherever it says in the rules, whether it be online or at the gate, fishery feed pellets only, use them. Why? Well, one, it's rules. Two, you don't want to get banned. And three, if this is all the fish are used to, then why not? Why would you not use them? So Aston Park fishery feed pellets. Here I've got a few different sizes and flavours and colours of Sonia Bates wafters. So I've got some tiny little 6 mils, I've got some 8 mils, and I've got some different colours, different variety. I'm going to be fishing with a band today, not a spike. I'm going to be fishing with a band, and that way I can also use some Aston Park fishery feed pellet 6 mils as a match the hatch hook bait as well. So they work sometimes if you can't get a good catch rate on sort of Gucci hook baits like those. Sometimes a match the hatch fishery feed pellet is incredibly effective. How do you prepare your fishery feed pellets? Well, I'll show you. Get yourself a bait strainer, couple of quid that, and you can either use it in a tub or you can just dunk it in water with your pellets in for a couple of minutes, or chuck it in a bucket with some water in, and the ideal. You can actually get a pellet wetter bag as well. Now the bag, the actual pellet wetter bag, which in some cases I do actually prefer, you unzip the bag like this, put in your dry pellets, fill this, the pellet wetter EVA tub with water, zip it back up again, and then dunk it in water, leave it to soak. And then when you take it out, it instantly starts draining. Because it's in a bag, you can give it a shake and shake off the excess water. They can be quite good for getting all that extra sort of moisture off your pellets. So if you've got one of them, don't ignore the fact that it doesn't work. They do work, they're very good. But for convenience, I'm just going to use this. So you can either put it in water and pour your pellets in, or like I'm going to do now, just going to pour in probably a bit more, that much. If I need to make up any more, it's just 2 minutes in water, leave it to stand for another 5 minutes, and this should be absolutely perfect. But for now, that'll do just fine. All you do then is you get your tub with your water in, drop your strainer in, just agitate your pellets a little bit just so they all sink and they're all taking on the same amount of water, like so, and then you leave them a couple of minutes and they'll be absolutely fine. It's going to be a nice warm day today, so when that sun breaches over this tree line behind me, my side tray is going to be an absolute summer barbecue buffet table, and it's going to get a bit of sunlight. I can always chuck my cloth over the top of them, but 2 minutes should be absolutely fine. And by the magic of TV, they are done. So all you do is take out your strainer, put it onto your side tray. If you've got a venter mesh side tray, they're absolutely perfect because the water just drains straight through onto the floor. And then if you want to keep some water next to you, you can do. I like to just pour it away, but today I'll just probably leave it there. Rinse your fingers in it. You can chuck a bit of water on your pellets if they start drying out. But this little strainer here actually means that your pellets can start preparing whilst you get the rest of your tackle ready. And that is what I'm going to do right now. And then I'll talk you through my rod, and then we're going to chuck straight out and catch some fishes. Right, onto the rifle of choice. Now, everybody knows it, everybody loves it. It's the miniature Preston Innovations 7-foot onesie, Monster WANDZEE, coupled with a 320 inertia with 023 on it, down to some 017 reflow power. Tiny hook length, tiny little feeder. I'm actually using the ICS system, not the ICM. No major reason why. ICM would be absolutely fine on here, but just going to use the ICS system. And this is as simple as it gets. Very lightweight rod. There's the end of it, look. It's absolutely miniature. And for the style of fishing we're going to do today, catching a few little carp up here on butts at Aston Park Fisheries, it's perfect. And anything longer, probably an 8-footer, even a 10-foot rod, you'd get away with fishing on here. But the ease of fishing a little tiny 7-foot rod on a Snake Lake is just incredible. And if you're wanting to get one of these and you've not yet, get one, because they are perfect. Now, that's the rod. I've actually got a few different feeder choices today. So I've got your conventional flatbed method feed that we all know and love from Preston. I've got the sort of deep-bodied banjo style feeder on the ICM system. They're actually a little bit different design. I've got the Everyday XR banjo, which is probably my ultimate favourite feeder for this style of fishing. It's what I'm going to be using today. And then I've got a Preston pellet feeder. Again, all these options and more are all interchangeable on the system I'm using today. I don't have to chop any line, don't have to do anything, just simply slide off the rubber and change it to a completely different feeder if I want to. That's my feeder options. That's my hook length box. So if I want to change to a spike at any point, I can do. If I want to change different hook size, they're all made up in there, ready to go. I've got my box here with all my different feeders in. I've got my pellets here. I'm actually going to pour that water away and dunk my pellets straight in this tub, like so. I can leave the strainer out just in case I need it. Hook baits to hand. I've got my fishery feed pellets there, just in case I need any more of those making up, and some fishery 6mm, and that is it. So I'm going to get some bait on, get chucked out, but first I need to get clipped up. So when it comes to clipping up, you can take your feeder off and put a little bomb on it, but I'm only using a 20-gram feeder. It's unloaded. I'm only fishing to that bare bit of bank out there, that mud line that you can see. So I'm not going to worry about putting a bomb on it, but if you want to, you can put a bomb on. It just helps with feeling it down, checking depth, checking where, you know, for contours. It's pretty same all across here, so I'm just going to leave the feeder on now just for convenience. So, tiny little rod, meaning that flicking these short distances is easier, a lot easier. So I'm not going to punch it right out, I'm just going to come back and have a little flick forward, like so. So probably about 6 foot off that bank over there. So all I'm going to do is reel back in. I know how much pressure I put into that cast. I know what's required to get a little bit further, but I also don't want to punch it too far where I end up breaching that far bank over there. So another one, bit closer. So probably about, I'd say 2 foot off that far bank over there. I still want to get a little bit closer. So instead of doing a recast now, all I can do is I can just come off my line here another 2 foot. And I want to clip up at that. And if it's bang on, I'll leave the clip where it is. Reel it back up. Again, tiny little rod, short casts are very easy. Just bring it over your shoulder, flick, pull back to the clip. I actually scared about 5 fish out all at once then. I want to go a little bit closer still. So all I'm going to do is take off the clip, come off the spool 3 times. Behind, flick of the wrist and up. And that is perfect. It's just where I want it. I can chuck to the clip no problem. My rod will go down on my rest into my gripper, and I've not got any sort of major tension on line, meaning that I can adjust line tension after I've cast out. Simple as that. Now, loading the feeder. Go with a hook bait of choice. I don't know why, but here at Aston Park Fisheries, like a washed out pink colour has always treated me well. So band that on there. You can use a pellet bander if you want, or if you know the technique on how to get a band over a pellet just by holding a bit of band still, by all means do it, but pellet banders do come into their own. Now, feeder. I like to put just a few pellets on inside, not press them in, just drop them in loose, and the hook bait, just sit it on top like so. And then get a few pellets in palm of my hand and just roll the feeder into the pellets like so, and just cover it. And as simple as that. Couldn't be any more difficult. At this point, you can spray on your Gucci potions. I have a favourite, which is a Revolution Baits Brazine Yellow Enhancer dye. So that's the feeder loaded up. We're clipped up, ready to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck straight out there, and it's all real time, people. It's all raw here on this channel. I've not pre-baited, I've not cast and put any bait out there, or I've not done anything. What you see off the first cast is the first fish, and I'm not afraid to reel in and cast back out again and say that we've not caught one on first cast. So let's go for the first cast. And fishing a feeder rod on a snake lake, on a commercial like this, it's not frowned upon. There's people that do it. I'm not the only one in the world, but I have found that I'm not a massive pole angler, and I guess I probably just don't do enough of it. But there's a lot of people out there that look at that far bank over there, which is only 13 metre away, 11.5 metre, and holding just 11.5 metre a pole for 6 hours is an absolute chore. So I don't know. There's another option for you. So cast back, down, straight down onto my rest. Keep an eye on the tip of that rod just whilst I'm tightening up. Don't need to worry about sinking my line as such, simply because there's a lot of fish in here and there's no major wind on either, so I can just get it out there without tampering with it. At this point, if you want to deploy stopwatch, do so. An incredible bit of kit to have on you if you're doing any style of feeder fishing, whether it be method feeder fishing on a commercial or traditional feeder fishing on lakes and reservoirs. Oh, there we have it, fish on. Not a big fish, but that's how you can hook into these little tiny carp here at Aston Park without worrying about holding loads of pole in your hand all day. Little tiny F1, nice fish to start the session off. What we'll do is scoop him straight back in down here and get straight out for another one. So that was a match the hatch 4mm pellet with fishery micros. So just band on another pellet, get a base in your feeder, put your pellet into the base, and then put a lid on top like so. Get your Brazine Enhancer dye or whatever spray you prefer, if you've got any of your own that's your own personal preference. Flick back out onto the money. Now that, if I'm going to be honest with you, we're probably a little bit too close to where I'd like it, but we'll see. And that was a 3-minute fish, that. So restart the stopwatch and we're fishing again. And that's as easy as it is, people. Just very simple, light feeder work with a tiny little 7-foot Monster WANDZEE, and it's perfect for fishing little tiny snake lakes like this here at Aston. So if you've got a snake lake on your local commercial, or a snake lake that you like fishing in general, and you want to try a little bit of feeder work, a big rod isn't always the option. You can try it, but I promise you it's very uncomfortable to get an accurate cast out there without having to, by the time you've cast and brought your rod back, your feeder's already over there. This little rod, it's so nimble that when you cast, you can just flick it straight back, wait to lower your feeder down. Oh, I think that's going to be fish on, is it? Oh yeah, he's off to the right hand side. So what was that? 4 minutes 20, that fish. And again, another little F1, I think, little carp. Play action of this rod is perfect for these fish. It is literally, and I said this before, it's like a top kit with a reel on it. It's so versatile for this sort of fishing. So, nice chunky F1 on the 7-foot onesie. Oh, scoop him back in. I can already see this fish out there still feeding away like nothing's happening. Yeah, so those fish are still there, absolutely not phased at all. And that's how you want to get them. If you can get them in a mind state where no matter what's going off, they just want food, that's perfect. That's how you want it. And then performing a little cast, straight down, onto your rest, and just tighten up. Again, Tommy Pickering, don't move the feeder. As soon as that feeder lands, it needs to stay still. Reset. Reset your stopwatch. Just wait out for another one. There we go. So rod's going, lift into it, fish on. Oh, and he's off. Oh, there we go. He's like a better fish. Oh, and he's off. And another one. Again, only small fish. But that is what we're here for. Lovely. And again, nice short rod means I can play them right on the rod tip. There we are. Another little tiny Aston Park F1. Perfect. So, matching the hatch seems to be working. And because it's not match conditions, what I'm going to do is this time I'm going to go with I think they actually form, I'm going to go with a 4mm Sonia Bates washed out pink wafter. Just as something a little bit different. It's got a bit more colour to it. They do bright pink ones, and you've got these sort of washed out colours. I'm going to band one of those on, like so, just so it's something different. Because there's a lot of feeding fish over there, and I don't seem to be hooking them as quick as probably what I normally would do. Again, every day is different, but it's just seems to me like they're just going a bit crazy over bait, and they're not actually feeding on it as heavy as what you'd expect. So that's that loaded up, and again a nice onesie chuck. Perfect. A couple of inches close would have been nice, but not moaning. Reset the stopwatch, put a bit more water on those pellets. Oh, oh, this fish on. 22 seconds in on stopwatch, and that's how fast it came after changing that hook bait. Right in front of me. Again, only a small fish, but that's what we've come for. Another F1. This time on a pink Sonia Bates 4mm wafter. There we are. Nailed him. Scoop him back in. Doing nothing different with pellets, just loading it up exactly the same. Hook bait in after, and then a nice lid of pellets on top. Loads of feeding fish out there. Let's see how long it takes for the next one. I don't always go off my results that quick, but that was a lovely bite, and he swam straight towards me and then went absolutely crackers when he knew he was hooked. So reset the stopwatch. Still fish out there, can see them already, tails up, so they're not phased at all about that feeder going in. Got loads of fish around me. It's topping as well. It's absolutely alive with him this morning at Aston. It really is. Not seen that pole rig for a bit. You might have found some deeper water yet, but that pole rig that were coming up and then going under, that's not come back for a couple of casts now. Oh, is he on? He's on. Again, only a small fish. Absolutely going wild. 1 minute 15. On stopwatch that one. Nice busy days fishing already. And again, with this rod being so short, it is literally a top kit with a reel on it. There we go. So a change to Sonia Bates wafters has certainly done something, that's for sure. Another little F1. Oh wow. Oh, there it is. Easy fishing. Scoop him back in. Again, nice little onesie cast. Sorry about the traffic noise. We are right next to the A57 here, off the M1. So plenty of loud cars and bikes going past. I think that were a bike. So reset the stopwatch and see if we can get like a good run, a quick fish now. I think maybe pink Sonia Bates wafters is the way forward. Oh, is that on? Oh, that's on. And he's flying to my right hand side. Wow. That fish got from that far bank to this bank in less than a second. Tiny F1. Chunky one though. Look at him on the 7-foot onesie. Awesome fishing that. Lovely little F1. Scoop him back in. Again, load it back up. Brazine spray. Let's get it back out. Oh yeah. Load of fish out there on top of that feed from last cast. Reset the watch. Oh, there we go. Not a fast one. Loosen that drag off, because even though they're small, wow, they do want to fly off quick. Yes, people, get yourself a Preston 7-foot onesie. For fishing on these snake lakes, they're absolutely perfect, like here at Aston today. There we go. Oh, little mirror. Oh, is he ready? Cheers. Oh. And that fish is a perfect example of why this rod is so effective. A little tiny Aston Park mirror carp. If any of you lot, by the way, have got a onesie and you use it, I know a chap the other week on other video, he said that he uses one at Boddington, which I think is amazing. I'll have to do a onesie Boddington episode, because catching a big body carp on this would be absolutely amazing. So yeah, if any of you out there have got a onesie, you have to let me know what style of fishing you do with it. If you do any sort of breaming with it, or if you go carping or anything, or like here today, Aston fishing commercials, you'll have to let me know in comments. What is it that you use it for? What's your preferred approach with it? It'd be actually quite nice going out with a traditional ground bait style feeder, I think, and attacking some little still waters with it, some silvers. That'd be nice. But yeah, lovely rod. Same with reel. I've used bigger reels on this. I've used the 420 and 520 because the rod's so short and the playing action is in that top half. One full turn of a 520 size reel, like a 4.5 or a 5,000 size reel to some of you, as you do one full turn of it, the rod just absorbs that whole turn at once. So you have to like do quarter of turns at a time when playing fishing. So bring it right down to a smaller size reel, and you actually get less line back demand through the rod as you turn in the reel. So definitely try not to go too big on reel if you're fishing with a short rod. It'll make sense when you get one, and when you start using one, you'll actually see what I mean if you don't understand what I'm saying. Like a small reel like this, one full turn of the handle, it's only demanding so much line onto the spool at a time. With a big reel, the gear ratios along with spool, and as you do one rotation of the reel, it can take nearly a metre and a half worth of line back. And say it's only a 2.5 metre rod, it's a lot of work for your rod to do whilst playing. Last thing you want is to be doing a full rotation through a small rod and your fish to lunge, and it will just be like two separate forces going opposite ways to each other. So definitely scale right down to a small reel when you get one of these style rods. Oh, that's how fast they are. Little tiny F1s, but I tell you what, they're like absolute rockets. Oh, yeah, that's it. There we go. Lovely fish, that. Another one on the 7-foot onesie. absolutely sacking up today. Oh, a little carp him. Lovely fish. Right, scoop him back in. Right, so I've just switched over to a medium Banjo XR feeder. I've gone to like a washed out green Sonia Bates wafter. And all I'm doing is I'm thumbing in just a base of micro pellets, just pushing in the hook bait, and then getting something palm of my hand and just putting a lid on like that. Just really simple. I know not all of you are going to buy one of these rods, or you want one of these rods for the same style of fishing, but for those that do, just showing you that even just simple method feeder setups, like what I'm using today, are just ample approaches to use this rod with. So chuck that back out there, reset the watch, and just wait for any more fish. Got loads out there still feeding. Tails are coming up, we're absolutely mad. Got lots of fish showing over by this reed bed to my left as well. Now, whether you're catching these little tiny £1/2 F1s like we are here today at Aston, or big 22-pound carp like it's had before here and other commercial fisheries, it does it all. It's absolutely no problem to it whatsoever. The bottom half of this rod has got so much backbone, and in unison with the top half, it's got all the soft play that you need, but it's also got plenty of muscle down here for helping draw those fish in when you need to. So if you get fish and you want to turn them, or you've got fish heading towards snags, this is sort of rod way, even though it's only 7 foot long and it's really thin, you can just dunk it down under water, do a couple of turns and just hold it, and you will steer fish away from snags. Oh, there we go, that's on. Absolutely flying to the right hand side. As you saw from that bite, they are vicious here at Aston on this lake. They pick up and they just go. See what I mean? It's soft enough and it cushions every single bounce for even these fast running fish. Incredible bit of kit. Oh, there we go. An absolutely stunning, near fully scaled mirror. Only about £1, nothing massive, but this is what this rod is perfect for, catching these style of fish on these little snake lakes here at Aston Park Fisheries. And I'd say that is a lovely fish to end this episode on. So I'm going to get him back and then we'll conclude today's session. So, what a very productive couple of hours we've had here up at Aston Park Fisheries with the ever so famous Preston Innovations 7 foot Monster WANDZEE. Now, I've done a few videos on this and they've done quite well. And they've done quite well because there's a lot of people out there that are very curious about how they perform, what they look like, if they're worth it, what sort of fish you can catch on it, are they versatile, are they worth the money? And yes, 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 the answer to all those questions. So if you're in the market for a 7 foot WANDZEE, go and get one. They are an incredible bit of kit. I've had carp over £20 on it. I've had little tiny F1s on it that have ripped the rod off the rest in like half a second. And today up here at Aston, fishing a snake lake, which is Butts, peg 27 I think I were on. It's absolutely ideal. Always remember, if you're getting one or you're using one, to match it up with a small reel. You don't want to put a lot of winding power through a tiny little rod like this when you're playing them fast little F1s or them little carp. So yeah, perfect bit of kit for those short casts. A nice short rod means that I can cast to a far bank without having to wait for a 12-footer rod to correct itself and then punch my feeder out. This tiny little rod means I can just flick it over my shoulder, bring my rod back without any hassle whatsoever, and yeah, it is the perfect rod for fishing little tiny snake lakes. Simple method feeder approach with an XR banjo. Throughout the day, what I've done is I've changed feeders, I've changed hook lengths, I've had a play around just to see what the fish are actually really wanting. And yeah, little XR banjo micros, fishery pellets, and just either a little wafter or a 6mm or 4mm banded fishery pellet, and that seems to be doing business. So yes, 100%, if you're wanting one, if you're wondering, is it worth money, am I going to use it, it's a lot different, a lot smaller, and a lot more sort of agile than all the rest of my feeder rods. Is it going to be worth it? Yes, get one and just get out and use it. And I'm going to do another video on it soon, doing some sort of, not long range feeder fishing on it, because it's not a long range rod, but I'm definitely going to fish some long range venues with it and see if we can spur on some sport from some different fish species as well. So that is the Preston Innovations 7-foot Monster Wandzee. Absolutely worth its weight in gold. I can't stress it enough. If you want one or you've been pondering it, don't no longer. Go out and get one. So that's it for today's video. Nice and simple, nice and easy, nice and short as well. And yeah, when we're fishing for these carp up here at Aston, it's always good sport. There's always fish being caught up here. And the venue as well, off the back of the sort of rod sort of focus on this video, it's the venue is looking incredible. There's a lot of work. I ain't been up here for a bit and fished it, but there's a lot of work being done behind sort of Bill's Lake, between Lily and Bill's. £30 come out here yesterday, £30 some ounce to a young lad. Yeah, it's still absolutely thriving with fish. So if you're on about coming up and you want to try somewhere new commercial wise, there's a lake here for absolutely everybody. And if you've got kids that are wanting to come and catch fish, and just literally put the line in water and catch fish one after another, get yourself here. There is fish being caught everywhere. And on Alicia's lake behind the shop, it's fish a chuck, put a whip in, and it's literally hook a duck. There is millions of sport to be had. So if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. It's completely free of charge, and it means that every time you go on YouTube, any future content that I put on, it'll be there ready and waiting for you to watch. It's also completely free as well, so don't worry about having to pay to subscribe. And lastly, comments. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. Have you got a 7-foot onesie? Do you use it for carp fishing? Do you use it for breaming? Have you got it as a travel rod? Have you fished anywhere else with it? Just let me know in the comments, and it'd be nice to see what you're all actually using yours for. So from me and the 7-foot onesie, we'll leave it there, and we will definitely see you on another episode using this rod. And until then, I will see you all on the next one. There we go. There we go. That's on. There we go. Right there. That's on. There we go.